Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Silent Punt Podcast with your host, Henny, and dun da da,
I'm back.
Travis.
I'm back.
I'm back, baby. Where are you coming to us from?
I'm in Aruba. Sorry to our faithful listeners who've missed my voice for the last couple weeks. It's holidays and stuff was busy. But Henny had a ton of great guests on, so I had to come back because I feared as though I would get voted off the island by the listeners by some great guests that Henny's had on. So even on vacation, I'm bringing you some hard hitting action from Aruba.
Such a trooper. Competition breeds excellence, excellence, baby.
I guess yes.
All right, we're going to get right at it. This week's sticker, helmet sticker for something good, goes to all the people over Christmas vacation, holiday, Hanukkah, whatever, that adopted dogs. I had my volunteer hours yesterday at the Humane Society, and before I left for the break, we were about as full as we had ever been. And I got back yesterday, and we had hardly any dogs. So apparently, uh, Christmas time is a big time for families to adopt dogs.
So this is the first holiday season you've been volunteering?
No, but I don't remember this dramatic in effect last year.
Okay. Yeah, I would assume a lot of people picking up dogs over the holidays. I'm not sure why, but I guess that's not the most common gift I can think of. But I'd like to know historically from the shelter what the busiest and slowest times that dogs get picked up.
I would think Christmas time is it, and I just hope, you always hope people are making a good decision for their family and not just like we're bored and we have free time and we're getting a dog. So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
or that they're just given a dog as like a Christmas present. And have you ever given a dog as a Christmas present?
Now I'm trying to think of a worse Christmas present to give somebody. It's not universal acceptance. A dog's quite a commitment. If you don't have a dog out there, it's a bigger commitment than just like picking up a toy or something. So yeah, it's not a gift I would advise giving unless the recipient really wants a dog.
Well, I was thinking about like for your kids, and if you know that they wanted a dog.
I've never given a dog as a gift. I did give a dog as a consolation prize to two rabbits dying. And I was sick of burying rabbits, and we needed a hardier animal. So we got a Siberian Husky instead of a third rabbit.
That makes sense. That's a good life choice. You got the gasser this week.
Oh, yeah. Anybody that drove votes for Drake May for MVP, I feel like almost, I don't, not any quarterback could have quarterbacked that team to that many wins. Their schedule was terrible. They played I think their combined win record. Did you see this? What the combined win record
No.
percentage of the Patriots' opponents were? What do you think it was?
Winning percentage,
Yeah,
35%.
just under that. So it's very close. So it was, I believe, the fourth worst or weakest schedule in the history of the NFL based on that metric. Now that metric's flawed. People can say that, but yeah, they didn't play winning teams. They played. I mean, they currently have more of their players in current investigation for domestic violence than they had wins over teams with an above 500 record. So do with
Wow.
that what you want. Yeah.
You sound like you should be on like Get Up or First Take on ESPN with that stat. Well, who are you going to vote for then? Who should you vote for?
I think Stafford gets it. Amazing stats, harder schedule, better division. I would say the best division in football this year. Yeah, so I think Stafford gets it.
Fair enough. I'll go with that. Um, People remember, rate, review, subscribe wherever you're listening to us. Like Travis said, we had some good interviews over the last month or so, and guest hosts and whatnot. And our metrics for this son of a gun are actually going up a little bit. So that's exciting. So help us out with that. We already heard you're in Aruba. When you travel, are you a like, I'm going to travel and just chill guy, or you guys are going to go do stuff when you travel?
So we didn't travel a lot when I was a kid. If you grew up on a dairy farm, you can't leave a dairy farm because the cow needs to get milked twice a day, whether it wants to or not. That's a longer story, but basically, you don't travel a ton. We would go sometimes like day trips to like local amusement parks, and our vacations were all active. And I remember my current wife and my previous girlfriend, who's now my current wife. She took me on the first beach vacation I've ever been on to Ocean City, Maryland. And I remember getting to the beach for the day and just setting down stuff and then sitting down. And I was looked at her, I was like, well, what do we do now? And she's like, well, we sit here all day. And it just blew my mind. Like I didn't prepare for this. I didn't bring a book or I don't know what I thought I was getting myself into. But it was like that first couple of days was a struggle for me. But now I've kind of transitioned over into enjoying those kinds of vacations, probably because life is busy and time to just kind of relax and read a book and not do so much work stuff on vacation is the norm for us now. But to answer your question in a very long way, I used to be super active, but now I kind of look forward to a less active, relaxing vacation. How about you guys?
You decompress, right?
Yeah.
And I think I might have been a participant in that first ocean viewing of yours.
Yeah, Henny was there. So I was 19, which that would have made Henny 32. And we went on that vacation with Amanda and Tia, another one of our um, college classmates. And that would have been in what year would that have been? I got my first tattoo in a flea market in Ocean City, Maryland, in one of the sketchiest places you can imagine getting one. But it was the '90s, so it was it's different times. But yeah, long time ago.
Long time, long time. Uh, yeah, I used to when I was working. I would have been in the same boat, liking to just go and chill and not do anything, go to a beach. But we're a little more active now. We just took a trip to Spain and did a whole lot of different things. Um, but I remember when I was in your shoes, and it takes you 2 or 3 days to decompress once you get there. Then you have 2 or 3 days of really good kind of chill time, and then I don't know how you are, but a couple days before having to come back, that kind of anxiety of work would start to creep in a little bit as well. Where are you in that um, time span in your Aruba trip currently?
I'm usually like one day on either end. It's the travel part.
Okay.
I like to be. I don't get anxiety about a lot of stuff. There's one thing I get anxiety about. It's flights, and I like to be early. I just don't see what's the issue with showing up, 2 hours early for a flight versus like 45 minutes early for a flight, like my family likes to do. Um, and it's even, a lot of times we fly really early in the morning, so I can see it there. But yeah, I just like to be at an airport early so that if anything doesn't go exactly as planned, I'm not either missing a day of vacation or multiple, or I'm not stuck on an island somewhere.
Yeah, I'm the same boat, and my wife, I think, is the same boat as your wife. It's like how little can I sit in the seat in the airport before getting on the plane is like her challenge. And then inevitably, she actually just left yesterday for a work trip, and the same thing happens. She's got plenty of time, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I'm late. Yeah, well, yeah, you're late. Why is this news to you? Um, all right, second topic, Elon Musk and the Boring Company. You familiar with that at all?
Well, I talked to you. I wasn't until I talked to you about it, but I thought the Boring Company was what most people might think, where he's trying to create some new company to cure boredom or something. But it's apparently not. He's digging tunnels somewhere.
Digging holes. Yeah. Um, he's done it a few places on Earth and working on digging tunnels with the idea eventually of between SpaceX getting our asses there and his boring company creating underground tunnels on Mars and populating that planet.
Yeah, I don't. I just. I do. like the idea of going into space. I will very much listen to people's like, why are we spending all this money and effort to go to space? If you guys want to pick up a great book, The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch
Oh
is an
yeah.
awesome book for a lot of reasons, but he talks in there about space exploration and the importance of that, and just kind of the concept that humans can do great things. And if we can really send people to the moon, then what else can we accomplish? Which there's value in that. I don't know if populating Mars is the best use of our time and effort. And Jeff Bezos is big into this as well. And I remember him talking about, okay, we're going to go to Mars, but before we do that, just realize that it is such a hard planet to inhabit. So go to Antarctica and live there for a month, and it's like 100 times harder living on Mars than it would be living in Antarctica. And when he said that, I was like, oh my lord, can't we just fix the problems here? I mean, I think this is still a fixable planet. It's broke like in a lot of places, but I still think we should focus our effort here. I don't know that we need to try to travel to a planet that there's a really good chance you're going to die on the way there. And then once you get there, you have to live like inside, indoors the whole time that you're there. So I don't understand the fascination with wanting to live there. And now, not only does he want to live there, but he's going to like bore holes in the ground, and that's going to make it better. I don't get it.
Tunnels, baby. Yeah, first of all, good pull on the last lecture. That book has got to be like 20 years old. How you can remember something from that is wildly impressive. Um, but yeah, I wonder with Musk, like, has that dude never traveled non on an airplane? Like, has he taken a train? Has he taken a Greyhound bus? Because if you go to from city to city in America, and we were just in Spain and did the same thing, took a train from city to city, you passed hundreds of miles of just empty space on this planet alone. Why do we have to go to another one?
Oh, okay. So you're saying, well, if it really goes bad for this planet, why don't we just live underground here? That would be a far better solution than living underground on a planet that's light years away.
Uh, that is, yeah, sure. That's what I was thinking, but that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, you it would have to be so uninhabitable here that you would be able to go above ground, but you could survive below ground. Yeah, I'd much rather live underground here than live underground at Mars. So,
Speaking of living underground, have you seen Silo on Apple TV?
no, I don't have Apple TV because I watch way too much TV as it is. And if I got that, I would start watching all their shows. I've
Oh,
heard that show is very good, though. I
that's
know
amazing. If you
there's a
like
couple
Silo,
actors. Yeah, there's a couple actors in that show that I really like that I'll probably end up sucking it up and getting it, but I'll let you know.
what are you going to do? Um, Also, the amount of money that he is spending on those things, we could probably fix the planet or large problems with the planet.
I maybe there's not as much money in doing that than uh, tricking people into thinking that you're going to do crazy stuff. I don't. This guy makes all kinds of promises, and he's like Barnum and Bailey. Like he's like who's the that guy? Wasn't
Who's
the
he's like who?
Barnum and Bailey
Oh,
circus like the
yeah,
ringleader?
P.T.
Like well,
Barnum.
who's yeah, P.T. Barnum. This guy's like P.T. Barnum, man. He said we were going to have. I remember reading about him and years ago, and it said if you have a child that was born after, I think he said something like 2010, like they're not going to have a driver's license. Like it's just not going to be a thing. I was like, holy crap! I have kids that were born. So like Harrison's never going to have a driver's license, and we are so far away from autonomous driving that was like one of his first promises, and he's just making like all these bullet trains. He was going to do that and all this other stuff, and I think it's just kind of a distraction technique, and then like his stocks like skyrocket. So I don't know. He's
Yeah,
got
he
to
is.
deliver on some of the stuff.
He's good at that, and that we've given me specifically Scott Galloway a bunch of shit on this podcast and in my writing as well. But one of the things he says about Musk, particularly in Tesla, is like the minute that people and Wall Street realize that Tesla is just a car company and not this tech whatever that he has sold people to be, the stock is going to tank because that's really all it is a car company.
Yeah, I went to the Tesla factory in California, and this would have been in like 2000. 14 maybe. It's when it was like at the height of his like I don't know, like I was a big fan of him. Like I read the books about him and I was like, this guy's an impressive dude. And I don't feel that way about him now. But it was like to walk through that factory and there's this one section. I don't know if they still let you do it, but you watch a robot put a car together and it's dead silent.
Ugh.
It's was one of the most impressive things I'd ever seen in my life. And I was like, holy crap, I don't someday when I have money, I'm gonna buy a Tesla. And that is the car manufacturer you would least likely find me buying a car from now. And I just see those cyber trucks and
Ugh.
like it's like 1% approval rating. Like the 1% of people that actually bought those things, 99% of people look at that thing and they're like, "What did you do?" Like it'd be like if you were walking around in the grocery store with your underwear on the outside of your pants. Like it's like who drives those friggin' things?
That is a
So it was
monstrosity.
yeah, it's quite a turnaround for this dude. It's funny. There's a small church that is you could walk to it from my house. The pastor drives a Cybertruck, which could be like its own podcast
Yeah, that's not a good look at all.
on so many levels.
Oh, geez. On that note, pastors, religious, Christmas. It was just Festivus. Did you
Yeah.
celebrate?
So I don't think I've ever told you this, but we have a PT that religiously follows Festivus, which no one really does unless you're a huge fan of Seinfeld. But he has a pole at work. It's a very ugly pole. It's in a 5 gallon bucket of rocks, and he brings it out every year. And as like this is a really long story, but it's an odd place where he works. It's like if you went there, you would think you're in the 1950s. Tons of people walk to the clinic. You would never go to the clinic and have more than one person in there and them not know each other. It's
Mm.
such a strange place. And then Nick just turns it up a notch and puts a Festivus pole in the middle of the clinic in December. And they actually do the airing of grievances. We've not allowed the physical feats because there's some liability with that, but we do air the grievances. And God, for all the people that are like, what the hell are these guys talking about? Maybe you should explain what it is. Because if you're under the age of 30, you probably have no idea what's going on.
I think it's a big enough deal. I wrote about it before Christmas because we were doing a little game with grievances. And I feel like it's deep enough into the cultural zeitgeist that, like, even 20-year-old adults, 30-year-old adults know about Frank Costanza and the Seinfeld episode. And I've got a lot of problems with you people. Um, do you have any grievances that you would air on your family?
Oh, my family. The number one grievance right now is my 14-year-old takes way too long a shower, and it's not a girl, it's a guy. So, uh, yeah, he's so obnoxious and does not care. We recently switched over to a tankless water heater, but before he would run all the hot water out of the water heater, and then you couldn't do any like you couldn't wash the dishes, you couldn't like run the wash machine. Nobody else could take a shower, so he's been public enemy number one for a while. So we're trying to fix it. So that is the grievance that I would air. What the grievances would be aired in your house?
Well, before we go there, you've told me about this before. He just likes to kind of chill in there, right? It's kind of like a Zen place for him.
Yeah, from when he was a very small kid, like he would get super pissed and like he would just storm up to his room and then he would turn the shower. I'm like, what's he doing in there? And he was like, oh, he's taking a shower, except he wouldn't get in the shower. He would just turn it on and then lay down on the tile next to it. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna do that, first of all, I hate wasting water. I grew up in a house where you would actually run out of water. And if you ran out of water, I think we said this, you had to go down to the creek and pump water into the the tank to have more water. So you took 2 minute showers and that was it. So I'm just programmed to do that. Like when if someone is washing dishes at my sink and walks away to like
Hmm.
grab something with the water out of, I jump over the table to shut the water off. So, so I had a huge issue with that. But when he was doing that, I was like, all right, dude, if you're gonna do that, you can't turn the hot water on because at least just run cold water down there. But he still kind of does it. I don't know. But
Um, I hadn't thought about one for my family, and the first one that popped into my head is leaving empty boxes in the pantry. Like,
Oh, it's like you done with the flour and you just put the like
yeah,
flour or like crackers or
or
something like that.
cereal or whatever. It's like, how oblivious do you have to be? Oh, I've got another one. Um, I like on my toast that's soft butter, real butter, but soft, and it instead of pats of butter. And when I do my toast, I take nice clean lines out of the soft butter package. And I can tell when I haven't had toast for a few days and my daughter has had toast because it looks like Freddy Krueger attacked the butter. I'm like,
What
that's gonna
is
take me like 3 weeks to get back to a normal looking butter.
so you've brought this to her attention. She's not corrected it. What is her excuse every time you say, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, why can't you just
You
take?"
know how good of a person I am, Travis? I have recognized that this is a problem in my own brain, and
Uh,
I've got enough things that I try to correct a teenager on, and I've never said anything to her about it.
Never said anything to her about it. Wow, that's great
How
restraint.
much
I think I need
self-control does that take?
maybe that could be my New Year's. But I was thinking about New Year's resolutions, and I think in a lot of respects that they're kind of dumb and no one follows through on them. But I'm trying to not get angry the whole year. So even in situations where that would normally cause me a ton of distress, I'm trying to like say like what's the big deal? Like there's so many bigger problems. I'm just gonna let this go. I think my wife would hate that because when I don't get the proper worked up enoughness about a problem, she gets kind of upset. She's Italian. And I
He
just like
wants
she
you to
was
get mad.
yeah, she wants you need to get mad. And I'm like, I don't it's kind of not my thing. So I'm a little concerned about the backlash on that, but I think I'm going to try it, and that's good inspiration for me. So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
You're welcome. Maybe you can just throw some like hissy fits for her uh, own pleasure. You're not really mad, but
Okay, all right, yeah. It's usually with the kids, like, why are you angry at that kid? I'm like, I don't know.
all right, you're on vacation. You got to be reading something.
Yeah, I bring 8 books on vacation. I never get through all of them. I'm not sure when I'm going to learn my lesson, but the fear of running out of a book to read is so strong that I tend to bring more than I can handle. I read a book about VO2 max. There's a
Ooh,
endurance
really?
athlete. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't a great book. I didn't. It's not for everybody, so I'm not sure I would recommend it. The information in it was good, and it got me thinking a little bit differently about how to improve that. So that was helpful. It was a quick one. I was on the flight down here. I got that done. I did bring a book about breaking the 4 minute mile barrier. Have you ever heard that story? Or you probably know who broke the 4 minute mile first.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, but I do know the name.
So when you hear it,
Roger
you'll remember it.
Bannister.
Yeah, right, close. So now you said his name in it. Roger Bannister was the guy's
Yeah,
name.
that's what I said.
Right. So he is, I don't know the whole story. I just read the back cover of the book, but there were 3 or 4 people that were trying to break it at the same time. And it was huge news. Like it was, I asked my dad about it, and he almost remembers it. It was, I can't remember what year it was, but he would have been like 10 or 12 or something. I'm like, do you remember hearing about this in like the newspaper? And it was reported on like, Yankees winning the championship. Like it was a really big deal at
Huge.
that time.
Yeah.
And they broke it. And of course, what happened shortly after he broke the 4 minute mile? Do you remember the story?
I feel like it was a floodgates of people doing it, but I don't know if that's what you're
Right.
getting at.
Right, which is a phenomenon that I often bring up to the kids that I'm like teaching in physical therapy or my own kids, and I'm like, isn't that funny? They thought it was impossible, like that someone could run a form. Like they talk about it's not humanly possible. Well, I don't know why you guys are putting all this effort into it. Humans can't break a 4 minute mile. And then shortly after that, I think like 8 people broke it in the next like couple months because they saw, oh, it is possible to do. And now mentally I can do it, so I have that book that I'm going to try to get through a chunk of today.
Uh, That sounds amazing, and also ties into the book I just started. I finished a couple on vacation, which I'm going to recommend in the newsletter in the coming weeks. But the one I started a few days ago is called The Martians, and it's about the Mars craze, Mars again, in the early 1900s in America, where legitimately they thought there was life on Mars, like aliens on Mars. There's articles in the New York Times saying life on Mars confirmed and all of this stuff. Super interesting and similar to like the mental part with the mile deal, like just this belief that all of the country had that then eventually I'm not going to get to the end of the I'm not to the end of the book yet, but flips on its head pretty quickly. And a lot of the people that were like pushing that narrative in the news are discredited. It said one of them was put in a mental institution. Super interesting. So The Martians, I'm looking forward to finishing that one.
So this was the early 1900s,
Yeah,
and
like
they, yeah, I would love to know. I mean, the technology was quite a bit different then. I would love to know the proof that they had that there were Martians on another planet.
I think it was a lot of extrapolation based on telescopes. And, if I think when you look at Mars, you can see like the lines, and they thought those were canals and cities. And
Oh
so
wow,
they kind of knew enough to be dangerous and then went crazy with it, I think.
that's great! Can't wait to hear the recap.
And there was in the beginning, which I have read, is he kind of laid out what was going on in the world 15 and 20 years before that, that kind of laid the groundwork for why people would have believed that. Super interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Um, all right, so we'll report back on those. Uh, our co-host, the last episode was Lindsay Smith. She's getting the comment of the week. A double down on a thank you for her doing it. She had a funny comment on a Snoop Dogg story that Joshua from Austria put in the comments. Do you remember that back in the day when Pete Carroll, who actually just got fired from the Raiders, but was coaching at USC, and they'd have Will Ferrell and Snoop Dogg and all those guys come to practice?
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's it makes me nostalgic about college football then. I was thinking about college football last night. I watched a decent amount of the FCS national championship game, which was absolutely amazing. And I just don't feel that excitement about the college football playoff as I did the FCS championship because of all the stupid stuff that goes on.
Well, it's all going to go back. Division 3 football is going to be the only football that is pure football in a few years, I think.
Yeah, and I watched that one the night before, not the whole thing, but awesome story. UW River Falls, did you see that they won?
No.
Yeah, so the state school here in Wisconsin had never won it before. I quasi know the head coach there. We've never met personally, but he coached for a friend of mine. And he went there. River Falls was a dumpster fire of a football program. He went 0 and 10 multiple years in a row. He's now been there 15 years and broke through this year and won a national championship. That just can't happen at the FBS Division One level now, and I think
No.
that's a sad thing.
Wow. It went multiple 0-10 seasons and then won a national championship. Holy
Yep.
crap.
Yeah,
These are
he commented, I feel like they probably should have fired me at some point, but they didn't, and I appreciate that.
That's an
So,
incredible story. I would love to read a book about that guy.
right? And that program. Um,
Yeah.
and Lindsay also doubled down on one of the things we talked about in the pod in her comment, which is let's just get rid of the facade of college athletics. And she's speaking specifically of D1 football and basketball being college athletics and just call it what it is, it's pro sports.
Yeah, I think very shortly those kids are not going to be going to classes anymore. I don't know if it's 3 years or 5 years, but yeah, I think they're just, professional athletes at this point.
Yeah, I mean, her point at the time was, why are we shoehorning this in? They're already working a full-time job. How many other people that work full-time jobs do we say, oh, hey, go get a 4-year education on the side? And
Yeah.
I think I've told you before, maybe, my idea is just put the college education on the back burner and allow them to play their college football. And the guys that don't make it to the NFL, in their contract is they've got a 4-year education, whenever they want it, when their career is over, like a GI Bill or something like that.
Yeah, I can get down with that. That sounds like a good idea.
And we also got to nix the transfer portal and guys leaving every year, but I'll stop talking now about that.
Yeah, you got out of the industry at the right time, I think.
Yeah, it's terrible. What is on the agenda for Aruba today for the Robbins clan?
Go down to the beach, set him up there, and then at 2 o'clock I have a tea time with my oldest son. So I crushed him yesterday. He's very upset about it. My kid is when he's playing a lot, he's probably a 5 handicap. He's very good at golf. I'm not, but I played well yesterday, um, and I beat him in every single way. He plays terrible when he plays with me. He's clearly not intimidated by me, but I don't know what happens, but he plays awful golf whenever he plays with me.
Maybe he just lies about his handicap otherwise, like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Well, so you could say that, except a majority of his handicaps were in tournament rounds. So
No,
I think he lied about that. But yeah, he says he's going to figure it out today. We'll see.
we will see. Smoke his ass again.
There we go.
You gotta bring him out here one of these days too when you come to play golf.
I know. Well, I think we'll go this summer. I think we got to go.
Oh, it's on tape now, folks.
I love Wisconsin. Been there several times.
Yeah. All right. We're taking a knee on that account.
All right, in the showers.